All right, good everyone. Good evening, everyone. I call to order our July 17th, 2025 meeting of the Ascension Parish Council. And I will ask Mr. Joseph, if you would please lead us in invocation and pledge of allegiance. Oh, no, look, I'm messing up already. Just lead us in the invocation, please. We have a special guest for the pledge.
Bow our head. Dear Lord, bless this great country, bless this great state, bless this great parish, and bless all the councilmen on this board to make the right decision for the community we live in. And most of all, bless all armed forces service members. Amen.
Amen. And to lead us in the pledge, we have a young man here today, Mr. Connor Angelette, is going to lead us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Connor is a member of the troop number 65. Thank you there, Mr. Connor. Give him a little round of applause. All right, roll call. Ms. Secretary, Mr. Robert is absent. All other members are present. Chair's addition, the chair has no additions tonight. And, all right, item number 4, the public comment sign-in period. If anyone would like to speak on any of our agenda items, please come see Ms. McKay. We have red cards and green cards. Just get that to her, and she will get that to us. And whenever we get to that agenda item, you will have 3 minutes at the podium to speak on that agenda. Ms. Secretary, Mr. Robert is here. All right, and now agenda item number 5, the parish president's report. Mr. Quitmall.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Council. OEP is monitoring the weather and will continue to send updates throughout the event as needed. The OEC is not activated at this time, but our teams are fully staffed, monitoring, and ready. Residents with questions may call our OEP call center at 450-1200. That's 450-1200. The Donaldsonville Sock Hop is scheduled for tomorrow, Friday, July 18th, has been canceled due to the possibility of bad weather. It will be rescheduled on Friday, August 15th. Vendor applications are now being accepted for the AP Food Truck Court. Vendors must be properly permitted through the City of Gonzales and meet all required guidelines. See our socials for more information. The Ascension for Youth Fest Back to School Bash in Gonzales is next Saturday, July 26, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Rev Center at Lamar Dixon. As always, we're bringing the community together to lift up our youth for free school supplies, uniforms, vaccinations, sports physicals, and a lot more. Tonight, I would like to take a moment to recognize Alliance Safety Council. With those with Alliance, we'll have a representative come up after I'm done. So, as a nonprofit organization, this mission is to provide critical safety and job readiness training. Alliance Safety Council has been a leader in the workforce training and safety for over 67 years. Since 2005, they have proudly operated a dedicated training center in Gonzales, bringing training directly to the people and industries of Ascension Parish. Over the past 10 years alone, more than 1,021,000 training courses have been completed at Ascension Parish, including those have offered at their satellite locations. This incredible number reflects a long-standing commitment to our local workforce, right here where industry lives and works. The Alliance Safety Council offers customized training programs to help workers meet compliance requirements, earn certifications, and advance their careers. Each year, they empower nearly 250,000 individuals across all locations, best-in-class training and exceptional customer service. Their presence in Ascension has helped ensure our region continues to thrive as a national model for manufacturing, safety, and workforce readiness. And so if there is a representative from Alliance, want to come up and just say a few words?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Kathy Trahan, President of Alliance Safety Council. Been with the organization for 20 years, and we have 125 employees, and we're very honored that we have not only a satellite office here, but that we're able to support the local community, to meet people where they are, so that they don't have to drive all the way to Baton Rouge to have to take the training over there. We can save them time and provide them with an opportunity to train close to home. So we thank y'all for the opportunity. We're thrilled to be a part of the community, and we look forward to doing more with y'all. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Kathy. And we know how important industry is to Ascension, and training obviously is critical for safety and proper workforce training. So that concludes my report, Chair. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. All right, that will bring us to item number 6, which is our consent agenda. At this time, would any of my colleagues like to remove any item from the consent agenda for further discussion? All right. I have a motion by Ms. Beatty to approve the consent agenda as is, with a second by Mr. Vornado. Any objections? Hearing none, so moved. All right. Sorry, y'all. All right, we are now moving to item number 7, which is our Personnel Committee recommendations, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Cullen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This thing up.
Oh, sorry about that.
All right, thank you. We had the Personnel Committee met on the 24th of June, and we have the following recommendations. The Waterway Commission, Linnell Johnson. It's a 2-year term.
Have a motion by Mr. Robert, a second by Mr. Vornado. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Gina Landry. It's also a reappointment.
Motion by Mr. Vornado, a second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
The Economic Development Board, 3-year terms. Mr. Randy Cluott Sr., reappointment.
Motion by Mr. Robert, a second by Mr. Vornado. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Mr. Roger Kesey, a reappointment.
Motion by Mr. Arsenault, second by Ms. Beatty. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved.
Next, we have the Library Board. It's a 5-year term. Javella Williams, also a reappointment.
Motion by Mr. Joseph, second by Mr. Arsenault. Any objection? So moved.
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Cullen. All right, we're going to move on to planning and zoning, item 8. 8A, zoning review ID PZ-3697.25, lot A and B of the Jeanette Cross property for Sean Cook, located on the west side of 431, approximately 1,025 feet south of LA 931, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map to medium intensity residential to mixed use 2. The motion will be to accept or deny the zoning commission's recommendation of approval. Okay, I do have a motion to accept by Mr. Hillensbeck, but Mr. Vornado has a question.
Lance, can you explain what the Planning Commission's thought process was whenever they
recommended
approval?
Yeah. Basically, there was
Well,
something.
with the difference in, I think, the building size is what the difference was, why they jumped a zone.
Correct. Right now, there's mixed use 2.
Somebody's lost.
Yeah, there's mixed use 2 just north of that property. So eventually, originally, the owner wanted to rezone it to put a billboard there. Billboards are not allowed in that district, and plus, the council, approved a ordinance that you have to be at least 2,000 feet, so there's no way he could put that billboard there. But basically, they made the recommendation because of the uses that are there, that's adjacent to it, and my recommendation was kind of like to stop it, I guess you could say, but they made a recommendation to approve it.
Because it was it, to my understanding, it was
That's-
more restrictive
That's
on the
correct.
building size, correct?
That's
I
correct,
just wanted to-
8,500 square feet. There's that transition between residential and commercial in that
Gotcha.
mixed use too. Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Motion. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I do have a motion by Mr. Hillensbeck. I do not have a second. I have a second by Mr. Vornado. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. And 8B, zoning review ID PZ 3701.25, Lawrence J. Noel Incorporated property. The Elise Plantation for CF Industries Blue Point, located on the south side of LA 405, approximately 430 feet south of Noel Road, to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from Conservation District to Medium Industrial District to Heavy Industrial. And before we have a motion, we do have a public speaker. And I'm going to call up Ms. Courtney Harris, and she is speaking on behalf of Ms. Ashley Ganyard.
Hello, how's everyone? Okay, so as just stated, I am speaking on behalf of Ms. Ashley Ganyard today. She wanted to make a brief statement and have it on record. It says, I understand tonight that the vote will be in favor of rezoning the Modest community, facilitating the slow demise of your own people, your own legacy, and your own community. Let us not forget that Modest was originally zoned to protect the families who labored as sharecroppers, people who worked this land not for profit, but for survival. The very soil was deemed worthy of protection, protection from harmful chemicals, protection for wildlife and natural habitat, our water, our air, and our children. Even a noise ordinance was once in place to offer dignity to those who lived humbly and faithfully. But now, because the monetary value of that labor has changed and those sharecroppers are gone, their children and grandchildren, those of us still here, are deemed unworthy of protection. You tell us it's for economic growth. You tell us it's progress. But I ask you, what kind of progress sacrifices the very people who helped build the wealth of this parish? This decision is not made in ignorance. It is made with full knowledge of what rezoning will bring. More chemical plants, more pollution, more displacement, more silence where there should be integrity. To say no today would have taken courage. It would have taken the strength to stand up and say, I was elected to serve the people, not the president, not the governor, not the parish president. And most importantly, I was elected to protect communities from harmful developments like this. We all know this is bigger than you. It's a part of refocusing on the core mission to pursue deregulation to foster a false economic growth and weaken environmental protection. But if you truly cared about jobs and economic opportunities for West Ascension, then why haven't you gone to the 30-plus existing industries in the parish and demanded that they hire Ascension Parish workers, especially West Ascension workers that already have experience and could be working closer to home? Why approve 3 more harmful plants that you know darn well will not deliver the jobs they promised? I urge you to remember why you were elected, because history will remember this vote, and so will we. Thank you.
All right. All right, at this time, Chair will entertain a motion to accept or deny the zoning commission's recommendation of approval of this rezone.
Motion.
A motion for approval from Ms. Beatty, a second by Mr. Vornado. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, so move. All right, general business, 9A, a resolution ordering and calling for a special election to be held in Pelican Point Golf Community, ID 2024-02, the district, on Saturday, November 15, 2025, for the purpose of authorizing the levy and collection of a 15 mil tax on assessed valuation of property subject to taxation in the district in perpetuity, for the purpose of maintaining all public infrastructure, including streets, drainage, bridges, and culverts within the district, and further make an application to the State Bond Commission for consent authorization to hold the aforesaid election, and further providing for other matters in connection therewith. And as y'all can tell, we have quite a few speakers tonight. Would you like to make a statement first, Mr. Poche?
Yes, I think so. Basically, this is for an infrastructure development district. The district was created by the council around the first of the year. It was to be put on the ballot, I think, in May with Belle Savon and Belle Maison subdivisions. And there were some concerns by a lot of the Pelican Point residents. And I just wanted to mention that we are going to have a community meeting at Pelican Point Clubhouse on August the 6th, where we will explain basically the process and what we anticipate happening as a result of this election. And ultimately, it's going to be up to the voters within the district as to whether they want to vote for it or not.
Okay.
So if anybody has any other questions before you get to the speakers, I'll be happy to answer them.
Gotcha. In an effort, in an effort for efficiency, as the speakers are speaking, I'll try to notate their questions and concerns, and then maybe we can revisit that.
Sure.
After the speakers, and you can address or answer anything that we can.
Sure, okay.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Vornado also.
I'm just curious, what's the timeline on when it has to be turned in for all the notices and whatnot for the election, to make the election?
That, I'm trying to pull from memory, but we probably, from today, we've probably got about 30 days. Once we start getting towards the middle or latter part of August is probably about when the deadlines are gonna be firm.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right.
All right, our first speaker is Don Bailey. You have 3 minutes, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak regarding this agenda item. Following the cancellation of the previously scheduled June informational meeting with the parish council members at Pelican Point, residents have been left without clear, factual guidance. In the absence of official communication, speculation has taken place. Misinformation is circulating. With that context in mind, I respectfully raise the following questions and concerns. Why is Pelican Point being singled out for this proposed tax? Other nearby, and in many cases newer subdivisions such as Conway, the Oaks, Pelican Crossing, River Ridge, Riverton are not included. What distinguishes Pelican Point in this manner? Of the approximate 900 homes in Pelican Point, nearly 300 are located on private streets, which we take care of. The parish does not. Also, drainage is our responsibility as well, at least the street portion of it. Will the parish assume responsibility for maintaining our private roads and associated drainage in areas such as the Greens, Mallard Cove, Hidden Cove, River Wind, Pelican Isles, and common townhomes? If not, will this resolution provide an option for residents with private roads to opt out of the proposed tax increase, either collectively or as a neighborhood or individually? Regarding the two that's previously voted on this, Belle Maison and Belle's Sylvain, I understand they both passed, one at 100%, one at 75%, but we also understand through the grapevine that some of those residents were able to opt out. We don't know what that looks like. So if you could help us on that, I'd appreciate it. If the council or Eric or someone could explain the process for opting out, whether or not that option is going to be made available in this resolution or will be made later on. It's my understanding, as Eric just said, that the parish council members will meet Pelican Point residents and have a informational session in August. Unfortunately, that meeting is planned and will occur after tonight's vote. And many residents, and some of us older ones, we use the term, you putting the cart before the horse, that you're going to vote on it tonight, but yet we still don't have the information, as we seem like that's a little backwards. So I would respectfully request that the council consider delaying any vote until a thorough discussion can take place with residents who will be directly affected. Thank you for your time and consideration.
All right, thank you. All right, our second speaker is going to be Mr. Derek Phillips.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak. I live at 5271 Courtyard Drive in the Greens at Pelican Point. And my position is I would like you to exclude the Greens area from the resolution, okay? On June the 5th, I sent a email to the parish president and also to Joe Robert, asking them 4 different questions so we could get an understanding what was going on. Didn't get a reply, so I sent a second request in, and on June the 10th, I got a response back from Lucy Cason, who I understand is the chief of staff, and she was very nice. She sent me an email. She had spoken with Eric Poche, And in speaking to Eric, he stated the reasons for the resolution, okay, which I understand. And the most important part of the email reply that I got from Lucy was that private streets will not be automatically added to the maintenance system, okay? If the roads are private, which they are private, okay, the gates, we have a gate on either end of our street on the courtyard, and those gates would remain if the streets are private. And here again, private streets will not be automatically added, okay? Residents with private streets have to request that they be added, okay? And I don't think you'll get a request from the people in Pelican Point, in the Greens area, okay? Just remind everybody that this area where we are in the Greens, it's 55 plus, okay? So you have all senior citizens in there, okay? We have many widows and widowers in there that are on pretty tight budgets. That would be a real hardship on them, having to pay higher taxes. I'd also remind you that the President of the United States also supports not adding higher taxes, property taxes, to senior citizens, okay? So keep that in mind if you would, okay? And I think that pretty much takes care of me. Like I say, I'd like you to consider not to exclude the Greens. Thanks.
All right, our next speaker will be Keith Peavy.
Good afternoon. My name's Keith Peavy. I live at 5202 Courtyard Drive, Gonzales. I'm a member of the Greens HOA. And before you guys take this vote, I wanted to make these comments. First, thank you for all your hard work and what all you have to do. The Greens HOA members, we represent 166 properties, 277 residents, all of voting age. On behalf of myself and multiple members of the Greens, we respectively, and it just as the two gentlemen before me spoke, request that the council remove the Greens properties from the special tax district vote by carving out the properties located within all the filings of the Greens. We should not be included for the following reasons. And these, I just listed a few. Number one, as you've heard, the Green streets, drainage, and lightings are all private. They're not public. Parish isn't going to take care of that. We have to take care of that. All Greens members are being assessed annually through our HOA dues cost to maintain the Greens infrastructure, which includes those streets, those drainage, and the lighting as well. The Greens entrance, if you drive down Highway 44 and you go to the back entrance of Pelican, you're going to see a sign that says the Greens. We enter through that gate. That's a private street. That private street is right now being, that one little section of it, maybe a couple hundred feet, is being maintained by Pelican Point. We're paying that through our Pelican Point dues that go to Pelican Point, through an MOU that we have with them. The rest of the Green streets, we're paying through our HOA dues. The new tax would be actually assessed on property that's currently being assessed through a contract that each one of the HOA homeowners have now with the HOA organization. It's not that we don't have a choice. We have to pay this. It's a contract that we made with the HOA for those same roads and streets and drainage system. The new tax would be assessed on property that is currently being assessed taxes. So basically, if passed, the monies would only be used for repairing of public roads, bridges, and drainage in this tax district, and not on the private roads, bridges, and drainage. Therefore, no monies assessed and or collected on Green's property would be used to maintain these streets and drainage. We're already being
Thank you, Ms. Key. Ms. Colleen Kabat. I hope I'm saying that last name. Oh, okay. I'm about to say, for the record, Mrs. Colleen's also a red card. All right, Mr. Don Berrigan.
Don Berrigan, I live at 6219 Royal Palms. I have a few concerns. I see like the Pelican Point Golf Club is exempt from the taxation, which really confuses me because that stretch of road from the entrance to the golf course gets 18-wheelers, fully loaded beverage carts. The amount of cars go up and down for traffic coming to and from the golf course. How much can that road take? What's going to be that's going to be the accelerated wear on that road? So they should have some skin in the game because of the accelerated wear on the road, because it's not going to last as long as the other. And then I've got a concern about the just no more ingress or egress points. Just one lane out in the back, one lane out in the front. So you only have two lanes going in and out from the back and the front, total. And you get those people way in the back, you're going to have trouble with medical response times. It's going to be interesting. What else? That's pretty much all I have. And the other subdivisions, how are they exempt? I see the sign by Conway, new division, new filing. That's not being taxed? Wow. That's confusing me. We get lumped in. My house, I've been in my house since '04. I'm getting lumped in for this new development. And when the roads were accepted in Pelican Point, there's a lot of oak trees planted very close to the streets. Now, if you've ever been in New Orleans, uptown, you know what the oak trees do to streets. That's going to be a nightmare for you guys down the line. So I don't know how they vetted the acceptance of those streets, but nobody looked into that. I don't know if that was considered, but that's very confusing to me. Because those oak trees are going to rip those streets apart. That's all I really got to say. Okay.
Thank you.
Besides that, one other little point. If that goes to 50 mills, it's the highest thing on my property tax. Look at my property tax, the highest millage I've got. It's a 20% increase. Why would we not maybe consider, if it's parish-wide, because this isn't the only subdivision that has to be maintained, want to do a 1 or 2 mil across the parish for everybody. And then it's fair and equitable, because the other subdivisions have to have their streets maintained. So, and if you only do 2 or 3 a year, or 4 a year on the election, how long does it take to get through the parish? Forever. So, thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to take y'all notes and questions, and after everyone speaks, we're going to try our best to answer everything. So just be patient with me. I'm taking notes. Oh, Mr. Eric's over there taking notes too. Okay. Next, Jane Matt.
Name 6011 Jonathan Alaric Avenue, Gonzales. Have several questions. Some are repeats of what other people have said, but why is the Pelican Point Club excluded? That automatically raises, I think, a lot of red flags for all of us. If we have to pay, why don't they have to pay? Why has this suddenly become an issue? Because we're a 20-year-old neighborhood, and I don't think the streets, from what people are telling me, have ever been really all that great. So why all of a sudden do we need to have this big tax increase? I'm asking y'all to vote no for this because it will be a train wreck of confusion if this passes, because you have the problem of the private streets. And from what I'm seeing, that's not in this current proposal. So it's going to be a lot of confusion, and so I respectfully request that y'all vote against this. And also just from a property value standpoint, it will affect our ability to sell our homes. Because if we're the only people being taxed at a higher rate than all other neighborhoods in the area, don't you think that people are going to look at that and decide maybe they'll buy a home across the highway instead of in our neighborhood if I'm trying to sell my home? So I'm very against this because it puts us at a disadvantage if we need to sell our home, if the neighborhoods in the area, in the comparable area are not paying the taxes that we're paying in the millage rates. And I really, again, have to question, like as others have questioned, why are we being singled out? Why are the other neighborhoods not having this increase as well. Thank you, and I really would appreciate your voting against this.
All right, our next speaker, Ms. Remy Amade. I'm sorry, Mr. Remy Amade.
Remy Amade. I live at 6030 Cypress Point Lane, Gonzales and Pelican Point. I think I may be wrong, but I think the state law requires that 2 public meetings be held before this is voted on, according to state law. We may want to check on that. I don't have the actual law in front of me. I think at the last meeting at Donaldsonville, I came before you all, and when this item was brought up, and I spoke to you and asked you about all the legal terms of the district, all the legal jargon, and actually just for a plain map, you all agreed. We still don't have a map to see what we got. The only map that was presented was the map that was presented at the Planning and Zoning Board, but does that illustrates the planning, the taxing district. Also at the last meeting, I asked the question, and some residents already asked it, about why the businesses, specifically the golf course, the restaurant, and the golf shop, have been exempt and carved out of this district. So one request, final, if you do move to approve this tonight and move it to a vote, I'm requesting that this council makes a formal request to the clerk of court that we move the voting location to a location inside the Pelican Point proposed tax district for the residents to easily vote. So with that, thank you for letting me speak, and I'm asking all of you guys and ladies to vote no. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Dan Patrizzi.
Yeah, my name is Dan. First off, I agree with all the previous residents' comments, so I don't have much to add other than mine is a question of clarity, fairness, and has to do with the 15 mil tax increase is about 15% being assessed on Pelican Point residents only for services that a parish agreed to provide some 20 years ago that we've been receiving, and for services all other Ascension Parish residents have. It's also the second highest millage rate in Ascension Parish out of the 21 millage districts, second to the parish school salaries millage rate. So my question is of one of fairness and why now? And that's just repeating what everybody else said also. So thank you for your time, and I hope you can vote against it.
Thank you. And I want to compliment you. You have one of the best looking shirts I have ever seen.
Huh?
You have one of the best looking shirts I've ever seen you're wearing right now.
Thank you.
I mean, Kevin Malone spilling the chili on the floor. That's what I'm talking about. All right, our next speaker, Silton Matt.
Good evening. My name is Sultan Mott, spelled M-A-T-T. I live at 6011 Jonathan Alaric Avenue. The one lady who just got up before me is my better half, and if you notice, I know how to say that. First of all, I'd like to kind of present a question to the first gentleman who spoke. I think his name was Mr. Eric. It sounds like he's already decided that this thing is going to be on the ballot by saying that we're going to have a meeting in Pelican Point, I think he said sometime next month, to explain what this was supposed to be about. So my point is if it's already on the ballot, then you guys, as far as I'm concerned, need to vote no. Now, moving on a little bit, a few more points. I think we all know that the reason we are here and asking about this is Mr. Diaz chooses to build in a new section of the neighborhood, which most of us are against anyhow. Paying for these roads, I think many people have already said, we've already been taxed for much of this. We're going to be assessed a 15 mil to help him build his subdivision, while excluding the golf course, which he also owns, which is the biggest property in Pelican Point. So basically, he's getting a free ride and we're not. We're having to pay taxes for a new, or proposed taxes, for a new subdivision, new roads that he chooses to build, which again, most people in Pelican Point are against. So my point is if you want to quit the club and you don't want to pay the fee anymore because he goes up on it to pay the taxes, you have a right to quit the club. However, if we get taxed on our homes, we don't have a right to quit paying our taxes. If we do, you guys are going to come after us. So my point is, Mr. Diaz, pay for your own stuff. We, the people of Pelican Point, do. Thank you.
All right, our last speaker, Erilyn Dickerson.
Okay, good evening. I'm Teresa Dickerson. My husband and I live in Pelican Point at 40024 Woodland Court in the Hidden Coast area.
No, you're good. The mic was going in and out, but you're good now.
Oh, okay. I have more questions than anything, and so I just wanted to read that into the record. So I serve two purposes. One, I live on one of the private streets, but I also serve as the maintenance committee chair for the entire community. So what we would like to know is when the parish if it passes and you guys take over the public streets, does that include the traffic signs, the street poles, things like that? Because I'd like to know what we're left responsible for paying for. On the private streets, let me stay on public streets. The developer has two, not one, commercial entities. He has his sales office that's already located on the parkway. Then you have the golf club. But at a recent planning and zoning committee meeting, he requested to add a third commercial entity, and that entity would also travel onto the Pelican Point Parkway. So that's additional that he would be exempt from, that we would like maybe the council to help us lobby the legislature to say, hey, no commercial entities could be exempt from that. So that's the big amount. If we could find out how much, and maybe if you guys will work with the clerk of court to do a lockout for like the Greens, Riverwinds, Hidden Coves, Pelican Isle Townhomes, all of those areas with private streets, since we already pay a fee for it, and I like our roads. We work really hard on that, and that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Chair, if I may make a comment before Mr. Eric gets up and answers any questions.
Yeah, and yeah, you can go ahead, Parish President.
Thank you, Chair. So I just want to recommend to the council, since Eric does work for me, that we table this issue tonight until we have proper public meetings. I didn't see a single resident get up and speak for this, so we're not in the business of doing what's not in the best interest of our residents. So I do want the residents to know why this is done, because I think there's some confusion on why. What this does is it puts you in the pecking order of when repairs are done in subdivisions. So you're competing with every other subdivision. The reason subdivisions do this is they get put in the front of the list in order to get there, because there is a cost share with that. But if you vote no to do it, that's okay with us. You're just competing with every other subdivision to do it. That's why it's done. But it doesn't make any difference to us. We're going to repair roads as they're needed, as they're scheduled. Doing this puts you in front of the line. That's all it does. That's it. Just as it would for any cost share with any grant or anything else. That's why it's done. But I would like for the council to table this issue until we have the proper public meetings and the proper feedback from the residents. That is my recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, and I do have a motion to table from Mr. Robert and a second by Mr. Vornado. Before we take a vote, I am going to answer the questions that I can answer, just because we're all here. All right. Look, so I have heard a few times of Pelican Point being singled out. So since 2018, Mr. Eric probably has the actual numbers, but I want to say we have close to 30 of these now. This was, went in effect. Any neighborhood that was approved post 2018, they automatically, they had two options. Either they kept their road for life, or if those residents, if the developer chose, whenever he's developing it, to opt in this, then they would have that 15 mills, in perpetuity, or whatever. And so any road that is not public already, whatever, we had the option. Because the only thing we were going to do tonight was just, my duty here is just to put it on the ballot, so everybody who lives in that district can vote. But obviously, it doesn't seem like we're quite there yet. But I just want y'all to know that no one was singling out Pelican Point subdivision at all. Over my last 5 years, I know we spent significant dollars in there that needs work done and things like that. The second thing is the 15 mills. So the 15 mil is the most that this body can decide to set it at, right? So whenever you vote, you're voting to pay up to 15 mills. This body can set it at 1 mil, they can set it at 6 mills, or they can set it at 15, right? And of course, we always kind of take that feedback from y'all. And just one other thing, and then I'm gonna let Mr. Eric, because Mr. Eric's here, and I'll let Mr. Eric kind of answer some more questions. And Mr. PT too. He's been patiently waiting. And Mr. Eric, look, Mr. Eric here is doing his job. He's just trying to be prepared. Mr. Eric has no idea what our intentions were tonight, but he has to be prepared that we're going to vote yes and that, and he does a fantastic job at that. So y'all don't beat up on Mr. Eric. He's only taking guidance from us. He's a hard-working man. All right. So Mr. PT has a few questions, and then we'll turn it over to Mr. Eric.
A couple questions. Well, more statements than questions. So Belle Savannah was my district, okay? So let me start off by saying I don't speak for the administration. Mr. Poche knows what he's doing. I'm not speaking on any way in administration. However, when Belle Savannah came up, this was the exact same resolution, right? Hey, are we going to put this on the ballot? Are we going to allow the residents to decide whether one portion of their subdivision, which at that point was the only private portion left, the developer came up and said, hey, we want to turn this private to public. So I'm speaking to give you guys an idea, because you're not in my district, but we've gone through it already, right, with some residents. So what we did when we looked at the mills, I went with our traffic engineer. I said, hey, look, I need to look at every road, every bit of infrastructure, ditch, you name it. What will it take to maintain this property for 20 years? Okay, what's the cost? And then he came up with a cost. And then we looked at the 15 mills, and we looked at the properties, and we decided with the residents. We sat and met, and anyone who wanted to come and talk, we talked. And it was shown that if the HOA was responsible for those repairs in 10, 15, 20 years, they couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford the cost of the repairs to fix, to relay, to overlay an asphalt road, okay? That is information that you guys should seek, okay? My opinion. Secondly, in that district, and working with Mr. Poche, any millage or any tax in that district only goes to that district. It is not shared parish-wide. It is not available for any type of maintenance unless it's in that district. Okay, so those are two things that the admin made very clear to me before I went to my constituents to say, hey, guys, you're going to vote. We're going to put this on the ballot. It is your option to vote yes or no. But I want them to know the facts beside both points. And really, the parish president beat me to it, but I was going to suggest we table it based on you guys showing up and what we're hearing, and there's a lot of confusion, it seems. But that's it. I just wanted to provide a little bit of background in that, where when we worked with Belle Savannah, we did all that, right? We got the information on both sides. How is it going to apply? What is it really going to do? And it sounds like you would probably address that in a public meeting. So I think it'd be, even if the council voted to pass this resolution tonight, which it seems like we probably won't, the public, every resident in that district has the right to vote yes or no. So that's not us passing a millage to you. That's giving you the ability to vote on whether or not you want that millage. So I wanted you guys to understand that, because that was a big confusion thing when we were dealing with Belle Savannah. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you coming out. It's not easy to speak on the microphone. So appreciate you guys coming out and giving us your concerns. Thank you.
Oh, and one more thing. Someone asked about voting location. So I could be wrong. So it took years for us to get the new voting location over there at Oak Grove, right? Like, that's like a Secretary of State and a clerk of court. Like, I think they have to be vetted, and that's a huge process to add a polling location somewhere. Because I think whenever you go online, for every precinct, there's the location, the address, and my assumption is that is not a very easy task. I'm sorry, I'm about to skip over Mr. Robert.
Yeah, I mainly wanted to speak on the private sectors of this road infrastructure development. I mean, considering it is illegal for the parish to ever do work on the roads, and the residents pay for their own roads, I would really ask that that is taken out of the taxing district. And I would only assume that we're not planning on taking over those roads anyway, correct? This is just part of the district.
Yes, I mean, if, as far as that goes, the public versus private, if a road is private or if there's a private drainage servitude, the only thing that changes if the residents vote to approve this tax is that, like Mr. Quintmore said, you would go up in the front of the line because then you've got a pot of money that's been put aside for use in your district. The parish is not going to go in there on day one and take over private
But
roads
that's
and
not
private
yeah,
drainage.
but that pot of money can't be used for the private residents.
No, it cannot.
Exactly. So the difference is just them paying. They don't have
Yes,
any-
yes, that's correct. When the district was created, the state legislature requires that we have 2 public hearings in the creation of the district. The creation of the district only creates the district, and then it starts the process moving forward. Now, when the district was created, the state law excludes, you can only do this on residential property, so any commercial property is excluded immediately. And so when the district was created, the district that was on Victoria Court, on those 13 lots on Victoria Court, which has its own infrastructure development district, all new subdivisions, as Chase stated, are included in that. And they have to either elect to go private forever or they have to do the infrastructure development district. So that was excluded, and any commercial properties such as the clubhouse and all of that was
So they
excluded
should be
as
able to
well.
exclude them, correct?
The council can amend the district at any time and remove portions of it or
Okay.
add to portions of it.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd like to do that on the next meeting before we do this, is absolutely amend that district out of there. And that's all it takes, just at the meeting we do it whenever we would do the election?
Yeah, I mean, you would amend the district. If we were looking at, when this was rescheduled from, I think, the May election to the November election, there's a certain time frame and schedule that has to be done. Now, if something happens that you guys vote to table this and then it comes back, I have made inquiries as to what the time frame is if we can get those excluded and have the public meetings before we would expend funds for the election. And if it works out, it works out. Then if it doesn't, then the election can be rescheduled at any time
Yeah, I think that would
beyond this.
be more pressing than having the election go, because, you know, you want to have if we have that correct, I mean, you're gonna have a lot better chance of it passing if people want it. And if they don't, I mean, I feel like we should give the residents that will have a benefit from it, opportunity, but.
Sure, that's, yes,
I do
whatever you
definitely want
guys
to have the
desire.
greens taken out of that, or any other private sections.
Right.
Okay. All right, at this time, Mr. Eric, I'll give you the floor for any other,
Okay.
information you would like to share and.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go through the list. You guys, we've covered a lot of it already, but since I've got this opportunity to speak on it, as stated, as you stated, the district is created by the council for the purposes of levying a millage if it is voted for by the people that live in the districts. If that is passed, then you have a fund of money that is set aside for use in that district when road maintenance comes up. As in Belle Maison, Belle Maison, and Belle Savon, there are subdivisions around the parish that have private roads that I am anticipating that every year or two, there may be a desire to move forward, for the parish to move forward and see if these people want to create a district for the roads within their subdivision. So this is just a starting point for the parish. I think the parish wants to address this and see if people want to do it, and if they do, great. If not, they can continue to maintain their own private roads. I've gone over why the commercial was excluded. Opt out, we've talked about that. Yeah, the Conway is within the city of Gonzales, and I do agree as well as the lady that came up and talked about it impacting unfairly versus other neighborhoods, which is why I think we anticipate moving forward with one or two every couple of years to give them the opportunity to do the same thing, so that everyone would be on equal footing.
And also, Riverton and Conway were approved via this 2018 ordinance where we started the IDDs.
That's right,
All
that's
right,
right.
So they predate, like, I understand
right.
they're still building and they're still new, but those developments were approved before I took office and, right.
Well,
and
but
it's in city
anything,
limits.
even the ones in Pelican Point, any filing of any subdivision that comes in after the date of that ordinance, they have to either elect to do private roads or public roads. So if somebody came in, that's what happened in Belle Savant. In Belle Savant, the first filing was done when we didn't have anything like this, and so they were just automatically accepted into the maintenance system. The second filing came into being right after the law was originally passed and the council enacted the ordinance, and we were unsure of the timing that it would take to go through that process, so they just elected to do their roads private. The third filing came in after it was in effect, and so they had one. So we had one subdivision with three filings with three different situations. And the vote on that was to try to tie everything together. But everything moving forward, even the sections in Pelican Point or any other subdivision, they have to elect to do this. Talked about the public hearings and the voting locations. I would imagine that you would vote where you would normally vote for any election. To vote in my new section of Victoria Court. Maintenance, I think I've gone over the maintenance and all of that. And we will have a meeting on the 6th of August. If you vote to table it, I will certainly get the information on what it will take and the timing, because if it works out that we can change the district and still meet a deadline or schedule, even with tabling it or something, I will let you know that. And if not, it can always be moved to another election.
In the meeting, so August 6th.
August the 6th at 5:30 in the Pelican Point Clubhouse.
Okay. August 6th, 5:30 in the Pelican Point
And
Clubhouse.
Blaine's definitely gonna be there because he dealt with one of these.
Right by work, man, right down the road.
I think you filed for me.
Yeah, I mean, you covered so all 11 or 12 things I wrote down, I think we covered. Right. So I have a motion by Mr. Robert, a second by Mr. Varnado to table for now. So I would like it to be a little more specific. So are we tabling indefinitely?
I'm thinking we're tabling to the next meeting, correct?
Or-
He's gotta see if he can get this information for that. But either way, I mean,
What's the date of the first council meeting?
I would wanna make
in
sure we have that
August?
information to be able to exclude those private parts
All
before we
right,
vote
so
on it anyway.
how about we table until the August 7th council meeting?
That sounds
That's our
good.
next council meeting.
You can table to August 7th, or you can table it until we retrieve the information.
Okay.
To take out the.
No, what
private
about
section.
this? What about August 21st?
That does it better. Let's do
That's a
August
month. We'll be
21st.
back here. That way y'all don't have to
And
go
he'll
to
just have that
Donaldsonville.
information for us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get the information.
Mr. Robert, so you're amending your motion?
To
Table
table to August 21st.
August 21st. Perfect. Mr. Barnard, still a second? All right, any more comments? Any objection with that? All right, so move. Look, and I do want to thank all of you. It's very rare that we have such a hot topic and everyone is so polite and respectful. So thank y'all so much. And y'all have a great evening. All right, let me get back to. Okay. All right, we are moving on the agenda. General business 9B, a resolution granting approval to West Ascension Consolidated Gravity Drainage District Number 1 in the parish of Ascension, Louisiana, to call and hold on election Saturday, November 15, 2025, to authorize the renewal and levy of collection of 4.67 mills ad valorem tax for a period of 10 years, beginning with the year 2026, ending with the year 2035, for the purpose of providing funds to purchase necessary equipment, finance special projects, and finance other capital expenditures of the district, and further providing for other matters in connection. I have a motion by Mr. Joseph, a second by Mr. P.T. Any objection? Hearing none, so move. 9C, approval of the 2025-2026 Ascension Parish Government Health Services Professional Liability Insurance. We have a motion by Ms. PT, second by Mr. Joseph. Mr. Hughes, do you need to share anything with us? We all good? We got insurance? All right.
I was fully prepared to answer the question.
So, Chair, insurance is a big issue for us parish-wide, so I would allow him to just kind of talk about the atmosphere of insurance and the struggles that we face every time we do renewals and the increased cost every year, just so that we can get a basis of the challenges we have with insurance. Brad, if you don't mind.
Mr. President, I'll be glad to. One correction on the paperwork you do have, it had an effective date of 7/15. That actually should be 7/18, because if you recall, a couple weeks back, we did the extension through 7/18. And in particular, this medical professional liability insurance is not an easy one to underwrite every year, especially in the state of Louisiana, but it's getting more and more difficult throughout the entire country. So we're limited on where we can go to get pricing and quotes and coverages. This year, we were able to get an additional or an alternative quote to the current carrier, which is Ironshore. You have that in there, and it's about $215,000 compared to the $262,000. But there's three main differences in coverages that both myself and Colleen are not comfortable with that GenStar quote. And so our recommendation is not to accept that. We've worked with GenStar over the last couple of weeks to try to get them to add that coverage. They were not willing to do it. And so our recommendation is to renew with Ironshore. You'll see in the packet as well the probably 15 or so carriers that we went to, just to give you an idea so you'd have that in front of you. They all looked at it, but other than two, they all declined it. Now, they didn't decline because we're a bad risk. They're just not comfortable writing that coverage, mainly in the state of Louisiana, unfortunately, due to some lawsuits and things like that we've had in our state. And so we'll still put that in front of them every year, because you just never know when their underwriting guidelines may change. But you'll notice in the packet that we had quotes back from two. Coverages, limits, none of that changed this year. That's all the same as expiring. The actual rate didn't change, but if you recall 2 years ago, Ironshore came in and said, hey, the minimum premium we charge for this particular risk is $250,000. You guys are at 190-something thousand. We're moving you to $250,000. Well, we were able to get them to basically split that difference. Last year, they increased it to the $225,000. We knew this year they were going to come back and put us at the minimum of $250,000. When you add the surplus lines taxed, it gets you to the $262,000 number. So that's where we are currently. Any questions, concerns? I have no problem telling you from a coverage standpoint that Ironshore is where we need to stay for this next upcoming year for sure.
Any questions for Mr. Hughes?
Chairman,
Yes.
Ms. Caballero has a concern about the motion. It needs to state which company and at what amount we're approving.
So I can pay it.
Got you. The actual company is Ironshore Insurance Company, Ironshore Specialty Insurance Company, and the exact premium is $262,649.25.
All right. Who gave me my original motion? Was it?
Councilman PT.
PT.
It was actually Hillensbeck, but yeah, I'm good.
All right, Mr. Hillensbeck, are you good with amending with approval to Ironshore Specialty for $262,649.25? And you're still good on your second, Mr. PT?
Good to go.
All right. All right, so we have the motion in a second. Mr. Varner does have a question.
I just got a general question on the deductibles and stuff. That's typically, if we don't use certain insurances, it's always good to go with a high deductible. Are we kind of in that time, like that frame to, to reduce the cost of any of these premiums, to go with a higher deductible potentially?
We
Or
would
is that
have
like
been.
the max they'll allow?
Well, we would have been if we're already at their minimum premium. And so we go in and increase our deductible, they're not going to give us any additional savings at all. And when you look at GenStar, you can go in and increase that deductible, and they would go in and lower their premium, but they've got three particular coverages that are built in that we cannot add back, and so we're just not comfortable with that being excluded. So unfortunately for this year, that deductible is not an option. Now, with it being said, Next year, if we find out one of these other 15 or so companies that might be willing to go in and give us an actual hard number instead of just coming in and saying, hey, we'll look at it, but we're not going to do it, then we can have that negotiation with them. Because most of the carriers that are writing in other states, the minimum is 200 to 225,000. Iron Shore writes as much, because it's owned by Liberty, they write as much or more than this throughout the country than probably anyone. But they raised their countrywide minimum to 250,000, and it's hitting us this year.
Yeah, Chair, if I can add into Mr. Vornado's question.
Yep.
On our general liability, and Mr. Hughes will tell you, until the insurance atmosphere changes, we're just about self-insured here. And that's just a fact. The deductibles are so high for us to even afford rates these days is, and we talk about it in administration all the time, we're just about self-insured. And that's just unfortunate, but that's the truth.
Yeah, there's definitely some truth to that, for sure.
All right.
I won't get on my soapbox about, call your elected officials about what the state has done recently, but do that next session, please. Any other questions?
Any other questions? All right, any objections
Appreciate
to
the time.
to the motion? All right, so move.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Brett. All right, 9D, approval change order number 3 for the Southwood Park Improvements Project to add 45 days to the contract to allow for completion of pre-engineered restroom facility and delivery for a new substantial completion date of August 26, 2025. No change in contract amount. Have a motion by Ms. Petey, no, Mr. Hillensback. Second by Mr. Joseph. Any objection? So move. 9E, approval of change order number 4 for the South Louisiana Fairgrounds Park Improvements Project, Prometheum General Contractors LLC, to add 45 days for a new completion date of August 28, 2025, and there's no change in the contract amount. Motion by Mr. Vornado, second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Any objection? Hearing none, so moved. Before we move on to item 10A, Ms. Kaysen, we have something that we actually want to present to the Alliance Safety, correct? We just forgot it next door? All right.
We did. I'm gonna take that. My
Take
fault.
it.
So yes, if we can get together for a quick picture and present.
Look, if y'all would, if y'all want to come up here and we'll stand right here in front of us and we'll take a group picture. All right, thank you. Yeah, thank y'all. All right, we are moving to item 10A. Now, this is introduction of ordinance. Just a reminder, no second is required. 10A, introduction of ordinance to update transportation impact fee program and adjust the transportation impact fee per ordinance. Motion introduced by Mr. Hillensbeck. 10B, to amend introduction of ordinance to amend Ascension Parish zoning map from medium intensity residential to mixed use 2, zoning review ID PZ-3667.25, lot Y1A for Deshay Wagaspack, located on the north side of LA Highway 933, approximately 700 foot east of LA Highway 444. Motion introduced by Mr. Vornado. 10C, introduction of an ordinance to amend Ascension Parish zoning map from conservation district to mixed use, light industrial, medium industrial, and heavy industrial, zoning review ID PZ-3677.25, division of McCall Plantation for Evan Bell Corp., located north side of LA Highway 405, approximately 2,000 feet east of LA 1 North. Motion introduced by Mr. Cullen. 10D, introduction of ordinance to amend the Ascension Parish zoning map from conservation district to light industrial district, medium industrial, and heavy industrial. Zoning review ID PZ 3678.25, 140 acre and 260 acre tract F north. My page is stuck. North McCall Bayou for Bellside Company LLC, located on the west side of LA Highway 1, north approximately 6,800 feet north of LA Highway 405. I have a motion introduced by Mr. Joseph. We did have a speaker on there. Ms. Courtney Harris, is she still here? Just verifying. Okay. Ms. Courtney Harris did have a red card on attendee. All right, public hearing ordinances. 11A, reading of an ordinance, budget amendment number 3 to amend the 2025 budget to transfer $400,000 for the Bayou McCall Drainage Improvement Project, Louisiana Statewide Flood Control Program. Mr. Dupatti.
An ordinance to amend the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the 2025 operating capital budgets for the parish of Ascension adopted by the Ascension Parish Council on the 21st day of November 2024. Section 1, the Ascension Parish Council hereby ordains that the ordinance approving, adopting, and appropriating the 2025 operating capital budgets for the parish of Ascension is hereby amended, approved, and appropriated as follows. Operating budget, West Ascension Drainage Fund, engineering fees for the Bayou McCall Drainage Improvement Project, Louisiana Statewide Flood Control Program. Expenditures and financing uses, transfer out, West Ascension Drainage Construction Fund, $400,000. Capital budget, West Ascension Drainage Construction Fund, engineering fees for the Bayou McCall Drainage Improvement Project, Louisiana Statewide Flood Control Program. Revenues and other financing sources, transfer in West Ascension Drainage Fund, $400,000. Expenditures and other financing uses, engineering fees, capital, $400,000. This ordinance has been submitted to a vote. The vote down was as follows.
Have a motion to open public hearing by Mr. Robert, second by Ms. Petey. Motion to close public hearing by Mr. Vornado, second by Mr. Hillensbeck. Motion to move the ordinance by Ms. Petey, a second by Mr. Vornado. Any questions, comments, or objections? So move. Motion adjourned by Mr. Hillensbeck and a second by Mr. Vornado. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.